Good morning, exchangers. I hope you all had an awesome weekend. It was so sunny and gorgeous, and I got to get away to Hood River and literally just see that pokey mountain shooting up into the clouds. It was incredible and refreshing. Over the weekend, I started listening to some of your proposals and then providing a recording in response. I am still finishing that up. It takes a while. There are 40 journalists out there in my on my team, and so I try to change the order in which I grade things depending on the project that we're on. So just know that I'm trying to be mindful of that. I'm trying to get you that feedback as soon as I can. The idea with my recordings on your proposal is really just to better solidify my knowledge of you out there and your personality, your interests, your goals, the ideas that you have for this piece, so that I can serve as a better resource. And then when I reply to you, I try to share anything that stands out to me that I think is really, really strong, that I'm saying, yeah, that should be in there. I'm also maybe asking some questions or telling you about a cool documentary I've seen, an article I've read, a thing I've heard about. There's no pressure to act on anything that I'm sharing at all, but there's definitely no pressure to act on it quickly. You're going to write these short article copies this week, but there's going to be a lot of time for the article to expand and grow. So if you just have a good place to take notes and keep a record of ideas that you have for developing your project, you can be like, oh, Amber mentioned this. That's kind of neat, and jot it down, and then keep cruising. You'll get to it if it's important. Okay. Let's talk about this week, though, while you wait for my proposal comments. So by Tuesday, I want you to post your short article copy draft. And there are instructions there. What are the important things to say about that? It's about 1,000 words. It is crafted. The idea in my head is that you've already written 1,000 word, 3 to 5 source articles, essays before. It's in your wheelhouse. It's not like a new skill. I want you to demonstrate the skills that you already have. First pass. But technically, it's not going to stay short. It's going to grow. So if you're like, I can't really do this because in my head, I already see the 3,000 words. Well, then the issue is maybe you put some placeholders, like, it's okay to write in there, in this part, I'm going to talk about this or add this here. So it can look a little bit like a final draft and also like full of notes to self and rough elements to it. The idea is just to get something on the page and to reach that 1,000 word benchmark and start demonstrating your skills in terms of integrating some sources so that I can provide early support for that. Please do not. This is really the only thing that I feel kind of strict about, if that's the right word. Please do not write 3,000 words yet. Please, please, please. It just creates a lot of issues. It feels like a little too much all at once for each other. For me, it leaves no surprises, no room for really weighing in and helping, collaborate to develop things. A lot of times when people kick out the 3,000 words, they become what we writers call married to their copy, and then it's difficult to adjust and make changes. And also just robots write 3,000 words like that. You're not a robot, you're a human. I want you to think and reflect and grow the draft over time. And it's not just me who wants that. That is the learning outcome for the course, is process. Not just a writing process, but a research process. And so if you do, that's not really a great process. That's all. Okay. So by Thursday, you are going to reply to each other. And there are some quick instructions on that. It's really good practice for us for the replies that we'll be doing all quarter long. typically 2-paragraph replies. In the first paragraph, you note things that are strengths, things you appreciate and enjoy. And in the second paragraph, you give suggestions. Nothing has to be critiqued. It can just be asked for, like, I think it'd be really cool if, or have you thought about, or this felt a little bit confusing to me. Maybe it's just me. But you're really just providing some things for the writer to think about. You don't have to find anything wrong. I don't want you to find anything wrong. I want you to generate conversation and thoughtfulness and respond as a reader. As a reader, this is what I was left wanting in that section. If you are missing points from your journalist bios and pitches, you can complete extra replies here for 1 point each and a max of 10 out of 10 on that earlier work. So see that in the notes below. And I gave you guys a resource. I've been mentioning it in a lot of your proposal comments that I have this solutions resource that talks through layers of solving a problem. What can I do? What can you do? What can we do? And who is we? And the many we's, who are the we's? And what should they do? More systemic. Check that out for extra details. You don't have to fully solve your problem at this stage in the process, but it's really nice, I think, to start thinking ahead about complex problems usually involve complex and layered, multi-tiered solutions. And that resource just gives you a map to start plotting. Okay, am I focusing a little bit too much on what I can do or what you can do? Should I actually look to the systemic? Am I focusing a little bit too much on the systemic? Should I look to what the individual can do? Those kinds of things. And then you'll have a little bit of time throughout the weekend to sort of just mull it over, let it steep, check out those comments, process a little bit more, and submit your short article copy. I want to remind you, per the syllabus, that I am assessing the work thus far as do equals earn. If you do it, you're going to earn the points. So when I grade the short article copy, I'm not reading it in a traditional teacher fashion. I'm not reading it and going, oh, this is an A, or it's okay, it's a C. It's just, did you produce the 1,000 words? Did you break out into paragraphs? Did you integrate sources and include a works cited page and have SIP format? And I'm going to give you full credit if you did those basic requirements. If you feel like, but Amber, how will I know how well I'm doing? That's going to come through in your comments. So I will provide very specific comments saying, it looks like we might need to do some extra review of this or that in the next week or so in order to bring things up to speed, or I'd really like to see you improve in this way. You'll get that from me still. It just won't be your grade. Your grade will be because you put in the work and because you did the process. And that's that. And then I will say that next week is the week where we're going to move into expansion, and I have not published that 4-week project yet, just because I'm fine-tuning and streamlining some of the instructions. But you will see that soon. It's my goal to get it done. I would say it'd be nice, obviously, if I could get it done by Friday, so that if you wanted to review it over the weekend ahead of Monday, that could be helpful to you guys. But just know I have a good reason for why I'm hiding that portion of the course right now. I really want to make it easier to understand than last quarter. So that's all. This was a longer video than I intended. I hope it's helpful to you, and just know how much I'm really enjoying you guys. I've said it to a handful of people, but I just want to say it to the whole class, that our local speech and debate team, the Fighting Smelt, led by faculty member Alex Brem, just won nationals, which is incredible. They go up against university students too, and they just whoop them. And it's just so amazing to have that here in Longview, Washington, of all places. And many of you, hearing you speak about your topics, I really see, you could be a Fighting Smelt. And if that interests you, reach out and ask some questions, because there's so much wisdom in each and every one of you. There's lived experience and thoughtfulness and critical thinking, and I hear your literal voices standing up for things, and it's a joy. So if you're curious, you should at least find out a little bit more about that opportunity. But for now, you're an exchanger, not a fighting smelt, and I'm so glad you're here. See you guys soon.